Hello, everyone. It is your lovely co host, Antonio Cortes, here to detail to you what exactly is ISGP 4 going to be all about, the rules, all that jazz. Luckily, we have a lot of returning competitors from the last tournament, so it shouldn't be too difficult to organize in the sense that I think everyone kind of knows generally what we expect from our competitors in ISGP. But nonetheless, we do have some new people, so we're obviously going to make a video to just detail exactly what it is that the tournament is about, the structure of the tournament, etc., etc. So with that being said, I'm gonna hopefully flash some like nice text up screen for you now. But in just basically, we're repeating the format of ISGP3. That's like the main thing to take away from this is that it's going to be 4 groups of 8 people. Round 2 will be competitors placed into 4 groups with 4 people, much like the second stage of the Champions League in the early 2000s, if anyone remembers that. And then after that, we have the semi-finals, where the first placed person of one group will face the second placed person, and etc. etc. And then the grand final will be a 4-way match. I'm open to suggestions regarding fifth placers. If they want to do a match, that would be great. I think that'd be terrific. If there is demand for that, then we're obviously more than happy to pivot. And same as to be said, really, of a lot of these things here. Like this is these are like the rules, but like at the same time, if there's like enough like I don't know, like demand from people, I guess we're okay to be flexible. Like it's all about having the fun basically. So yeah. With regards to the games to be played, so this is where things change slightly, but not really. So what we want, and this has been the case in the past tournaments anyway, luckily, but competitors have to play at least one of the OG trilogy one time. So you can't, for example, do Spyro 2 4 times, Spyro 3 4 times, and skip Spyro 1. We had that scenario. I think it happened one time in OSGP 2, but yeah, it didn't happen in OSGP 3. And we'll keep on top of that. We'll make sure to know if anyone is lacking in one of the trilogy, if they've not done a game in the trilogy. We'll be on top of that. But if that is the case, if it does happen, then it may result that one of the races will need to be voided and repeated in another game. But yeah, I mention this, and like when I mention it, people might think like, "Oh, geez, like I have to be really careful." You don't really like. You'd be surprised as to how like naturally you just end up doing all 3 anyway. But yeah. So as I say, you have to do at least one of the trilogy. Spyro 2 and Spyro 1 Japanese count towards that quota, so that's important to note. And also any Spyro OG trilogy prototypes are going to be included in that as well. Most of them are similar enough to the final games to where they might as well just be included in there. Again, open to interpretation on that. If someone wants to say that like a particular, I don't know, prototype is like so wildly different that it constitutes what is, as I'm now going to explain, a special match type. So there are 2 kinds of special matches that we're allowing people to do. There's the option, and I stress this is an option. You can just do the OG trilogy and it doesn't matter. But you can do a match if both people want to. Okay, I stress this. If both people want to, they can do a match in Enter Dragonfly, A Hero's Tale, or any 3 of the Spyro Reignited trilogy games. So you can do one of these, and it has to be one out of everything I just mentioned, and your opponent has the right of refusal on this. So if your opponent says no, then that's it. You're not doing it. So yeah, opening it up a little bit there, a bit of Spyro Speedruns Cup, I think, flavor in there, which is cool. So as I say, if you have 2 people in the same group who, for example, really want to do Reignite the Trilogy or really want to do a Hero's Tale, then great, they can do that. But just note that you can only do that one time. And then there's a second set of special matches, so special match type 2. Um, this is for things like the Spyro 3 randomizer. I think there's a Spyro 1 gem redistribution thing. That's also going to be like a special match type, which again, if both players agree to, then yeah. Or rather, I should say, if they both want to. I think that's probably the key term there. If they both want to do it, then yeah, they could do that too. So you could have a situation, just to give you an example, like in my group, I might end up playing, I don't know. Now, I will clarify, I don't want to do any of what I just mentioned, so, but there could be a scenario where, for example, I play Spyro 2 three times, I don't know, Spyro 1 two times, and Spyro 3 once, and then I don't like, enter the Dragonfly, and then I do a Spyro 3 redistribution, or not redistribution, sorry, Spyro 3 randomizer race, for example, you know. So yeah, so that is, but I stress, your opponent, if someone suggests that, their opponent has the right of refusal. So hopefully that makes sense. Please let me know in the comments if that's not clear. But yeah, if you have no intention of playing any of that or wanting to do any of those, you can just ignore that and just do the original trilogy, basically. So that's to kind of simplify it, but just giving people the option if they want to. So yeah. Something else to note as well, this probably won't come into play because I checked ISGP3 and luckily it didn't, but just in the event that it does, if someone in the group stages plays, for instance, Spyro 1 once, Spyro 2 once, and Spyro 3 five times, and same is true of, you know, if you flip that around for Spyro 2 and Spyro 1, then if they make it through to the knockout stages, they cannot repeat the game that they played five times in the knockout stages in round two, basically. So they have to play, yeah, because we kind of want to avoid a scenario where someone's just kind of like doing what I did of course, referencing the past as we love to do in IES6. I may or may not have played Spyro 2 quite a lot, so this, you know, it's to avoid that kind of scenario, keep things balanced. So yeah, so as I say, repeat, if in the first group stage you play one of the OG trilogy five times, you can't do it in round two. You have to play one, or well, I guess all your matches have to be in the other two games, essentially. And I think that's probably important to note as well. Round two, probably going to need to talk about this with Andrew, but I think we're in agreement here that with round two, which is the second group stage, just OG trilogy. Same for the semifinals as well. Semifinals, OG trilogy, and then likewise for the grand finals. So yeah, that's that. And also, just to clarify, semi-finals, if anyone were to be penalised for playing the original trilogy five times in the group stages, then they, then on into round two. In the semi-finals, they can then it's fine. They can play, you know, whatever the trilogy that their opponent that they end up agreeing with their opponent, basically. So yeah. I keep thinking as well, like, this doesn't make any sense, but like it's hopefully it does. But like honestly, a lot of it's not going to come into play. But it's just important to kind of like just make sure that that's like made aware, basically. Then match length. So again, it's pretty much the same as ISGP3. So we have round one between 10 minutes and 60 minutes. Round two, 30 minutes and 90 minutes. And then semifinals have to be at least 60 minutes long. So yeah, I think that was it for ISGP3. Again, like, honestly, we can kind of play it by ear. If we have a round two match that ends up going like, I don't know, 100 minutes, maybe, you know, it's fine. We'll have to see, to be honest. But I think that's a pretty good template there. So yeah. That's that, and that's kind of really everything. Now that I think about it, I guess just some other miscellaneous things, which again, this didn't pop up in ISGP3, luckily, but it did in ISGP2, so I do want to mention it. No meta goals, like nothing like, you know, people who say head bash in the call, like the competitors have to head bash, and it's like a head bash apocalypse race, or like none of this shit where it's like, if the person tells the truth in Icy Peak, they lose the whatever it was. Like, just don't do that. That's not allowed. Like, let's just keep within the confines of like the game. So yeah, like crawling, which isn't applicable here, but I don't know, like a rolling race or like a glide only race, walking only, knock yourselves out, that's fine. Like, if you both agree to it, great. But just meta stuff, like, let's just avoid that, because it's just like, it calls like all this like shit in ISGP2, where like I think it was like Vitos and Dan Davidson had like a draw because neither of them could complete any progress towards the goal in their group match, thanks to people just saying head bash over and over again, and I was like pissed. So now that I got some power, I'm gonna just say none of that shit. So yeah, but all the meme stuff, great. You know, like, I want to stress, like, you know, if someone wants to do a head bash apocalypse race, fine. Again, that's cool. Probably would fall into that special match type, obviously, but yeah, just nothing that's just kind of like, as I say, involving like external factors or like, stuff like that. Like, yeah, just yeah, no, don't do that. And yeah, I think there was one other thing. I can't actually think of what it was now, but I feel as though it was something along those lines. I guess I'll just mention as well, like just in terms of like overall call conduct, obviously no coaching in the call itself. That goes for like anyone spectating as well. Like don't coach the players. Like don't because we want to keep things even, and otherwise someone will get like an advantage potentially. I think it's pretty obvious as to why we wouldn't want that. Unless if the other person, the other competitor is okay with it, then it's fine. But otherwise, just don't do that. Just let the competitors speak. It's their time. It's their race. So if they're trying to say something, make sure to just stay quiet and let them talk. There will be mods in the races who will be doing that. Obviously, making sure that people are being respectful of one another in races, and just especially, as I say, just letting the racers talk. Like that's like the big one. So yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it then. Yeah, I think I can't. I feel as though I'm gonna make this video. I'm gonna upload it, and I'm gonna be like, oh, geez, like there's something else I wanted to mention. Well, look, I think that's pretty much it. I think we're sorted. So, as I say, pretty much it's the same as like ISGP3. To be fair, there's not much like to really kind of like worry about there. It's just some things that, as I say, I just wanted to concretize. They will be on the wiki as well, just to in case anyone wants to go over that. And yeah, Andrew will be coming up to announce the groups very soon, which is really exciting. We got some cracking people and some cracking matchups coming up. And the idea, just to clarify, like for the tournament start date, we're looking at around like just the beginning of June, like week beginning the is it the 2nd of June, somewhere around there. So yeah, I'm kind of reluctant to put like a hard like date on it, but yeah, we're looking at about probably 2nd of June is when we're gonna really kind of get things going. But yeah, cool. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and yeah, I'll see you for another exciting ISGB update very soon. And of course, I did forget something because I wanted to announce that helping and assisting with the organization of the tournament, in addition to our wonderful mod team, is our consultants, or our consiglieri, as I might say, who are Cola Pro. Finally, I'm looking at the camera, by the way. Cola Pro and Danta Fanta. Perfect. So, Cola Pro is an admin in the Wumpa community. I think they have a proper name. I was going to call it the CB Wumpa Classic Community. There you go. I think that's a better way of putting it. So, yeah, good friend of mine, good lad. And then, of course, Danta Fanta, stalwart of Square to Charge. Also a good friend of mine and a good friend of the people. And, yeah, they're just going to help us just, in case there are, like, any, I don't know, just any disputes basically arising between anyone. We'll have them on hand to assist, as they're instrumental in basically, we're kind of like in different communities at the moment. ISGP is kind of like what brings us all together. So Danta's obviously representing the Square to Charge, and then Cola would be representing the Wumpa crew. So yeah, that is it. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Highly appreciate it, and we will see you soon.